Rawr. Ah, crap, it's a monster. I better get the hell out of here. No. Crap, I think he's gonna eat me. Da-da-da-da. Woohoo, Gamera. Sweet, you came here to save me. I'm here to save the day, and wait, who are you? The person that needs rescuing? You know I only save children, right? Are you serious? Not worth my time. Hope it's not too crunchy for you, Gyaos. I hope you become turtle soup. Hey guys, welcome to Super Important Reviews. My name's Steve, and today I'll be going over the Kaido Sci-Fi Revoltech Gyaos 1967. This guy is from the film Gamera vs. Gyaos, and also goes along with the Revoltech Gamera that I reviewed not too long ago. And you guys seem to enjoy that review a lot, so decided to get this guy out sooner than later. Which actually, this is my favorite of all these Showa Gamera villains, next to Giron, because I also really enjoy Giron. But his film is actually the one I can actually come back to now and still readily enjoy. While the other ones are a little bit more kiddie or cartoony, or just the suits don't really hold up as well. Well, this one, I actually still enjoy the plot overall, and the fights are still pretty cool. And Gyaos is such an evil, menacing character, so without further ado, for the packaging, pretty much the same as what we got with the Gamera, where you get a nice profile shot of Gyaos on the front of the packaging in this blood red color scheme. All the information you need to know right on the side here. Same with on the top side, but you also get another nice image of Gyaos on the side of the packaging here. Knocking things over. Bitches be tripping. And then on the side here, just tells you how the Revoltech joints work on the side of the packaging. For the back, it pretty much tells you how to attach and use all the accessories that come inside of the packaging. Get a nice image of the figure doing quite a bit of dynamic poses. A little bit of information about Gyaos on here. Some stuff on the bottom. On the bottom of the packaging, just again, tells you more about the Revoltech joints and some legal mumbo jumbo. And on the inside of the packaging, when you open it up, just like with the Gamera, we get a nice bio of the figure inside of the packaging. Lots of shots from the actual film. And you get a nice clear image of the figure inside the packaging with all of his accessories. And a little Revoltech coin. So, let's get this guy opened up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now that we have Gyaos open up out of his cardboard prison, first we're going to go over some of his accessories, starting with his sonic beam, which overall looks really good. It's made out of this translucent yellow plastic with some yellow paint coming across over the top of it to give it that really nice look, very reminiscent of the film. And also has this really nice edge to it, kind of gives it this more like swordish quality, like you can actually like chop through something with it. A little bit of the little explosion piece at the end. Overall, I think they designed it really well, very iconic for this actual monster. Because pretty much what he does is he shoots this beam where he can pretty much cut through anything, steel, Gamera, shell, you name it, slices and dices. And then how you get it into our Gyaos here is right here. You'll see that there's a little peg hole inside the mouth here. Just insert it right into the pickle. Pretty simple stuff. It's a little bit stiff on mine though. But once you get it in, overall looks freaking awesome. Like, definitely probably gonna be having this guy like just flying around my shelf, just trying to cut apart all the other kaijus in my collection. Then for the next accessory we have for the sonic beam, you can see here we got this normal fighter jet, which has a really nice paint job on it. It's nice metallic silver with black here for the cockpit. And you can see here that it's kind of cut in two because this is where the sonic beam actually cut it in half. You can actually attach it to the sonic beam, which it's pretty simple stuff. All you really do is just take your sonic beam, push it right onto it. You want to put it pretty close to the tip though. As you're bringing it up, it kind of gets wider towards the base, so it kind of just squishes itself in. Then once you get in, it stays in there very nice. And now you have Gyaos destroying the airplane, and overall, it actually looks like a really sweet accessory. Definitely something I would actually display it with on my shelf. And again, I love that they come with these Revoltech figures, all these accessories, especially stuff that's like, this is pretty much from one scene in the film, and they just decided to include this with the figures so that you can actually display it like this. Overall, really impressed with this accessory. And then for his next accessory, he comes with a tiny little flying Gamera, which show you guys a bit of a scale for him. Here's Gyaos. Here's our tiny little Gamera, which is actually really sweet because you can kind of like have him look like he's off in the distance, and then you can have your Gyaos look like he's flying away from him, which, if my camera would stop unfocusing, it looks really cool. Like, it gives you a nice like depth perception when you're going to be having these guys displayed on your shelf. But overall, I think they did a really awesome job with this little Gamera figure, like bringing it in for a closer look. The details on the Gamera are awesome. Like, they actually have a lot of nice molded details on here. Got the color scheme right with the really dark green with some black highlights for the little seam lines. Looks really awesome. Like, even have the little flames kind of coming out of the back, and it bleeds through very nicely. And then for the smoke, it's this more of a, I want to say like baby blue turning into green kind of color. Then it comes into more of a gray towards the bottom here of the base, where you have the smoky effect of him kind of lifting off. Overall, I think they did a really awesome job with the sculpt on this little guy. And the next Gyaos comes with these 2 pairs of severed feet, which you get the official severed foot, which is where Gamera kind of bites off his toes, which is really cool. Has a lot of very nice molded details here. Same, more of a burgundy color with some blacks here and there to match the Gyaos in the backdrop here. But it's really cool. Like, you even got like the more blood, like inner skin section right here. And then if you want to add your toes to it, it comes with these extra little pairs of toes, which you can also kind of have like sitting out of Gamera's mouth if you want to have it like look like he just ripped them out of socket. And all you do is you can also just put them right into the severed section, which is freaking tight. Like, trying to push it in there. Oh, that feels like that's about as far as that goes in. Like, wiggling in a little bit more. Alright, you can get it in. It's just a little scary. So, if you want to have it displayed, you can actually just use this foot as its normal foot if you so desire. I think the one that it actually comes with looks a little bit cleaner. But if you want the option of just keeping this foot on and then you can pop it on and off depending on how you want to be displaying it, that works too. And then essentially how you just get this guy on here is you just take the foot, you just pull it off the joint right here. Really easy to do. It's not quite as scary as doing like the Tamashis, where there isn't really a whole lot of grip on these things. Just kind of enough just to keep the piece onto the figure. And then you just slide this one on. It's a little bit stiffer than the other one. And you got to make sure you're coming at it at the right angle, because this is going to be a little bit off-centered, which is a pain in the butt. And there you go. And now we have our Gyaos with his severed foot. Now you can hobble around like he was in the film. Just, yeah. And then next, for some of his other accessories, we have this added stand piece is how you get him into his flying mode using the Revoltech stand. And also the little display for our Gyaos here. Problem is on the back of the packaging, shows that he comes with a stand. Inside of the packaging, he doesn't come with a stand. And I tried watching some other reviews where one reviewer had the stand but didn't state it came in the package, while the other reviewer just showed the exact same accessories I have here. Looking him up online at some stores, they don't show him with the stand. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say he doesn't actually come with the stand, so don't expect it to show up with the figure when you purchase this. But it is kind of nice that it comes with stuff to add to it. I think it should come with a stand though, because maybe you didn't actually want to pick up the Revoltech Gamera and you just mainly wanted the Gyaos here. Now, since you're not picking up the Gamera, you're not going to have any way of having this guy in any flight forms, unless you have like a Tamashii Nation stand, which I got quite a few of those actually laying around. Which I do strongly believe that this guy should come with a stand, which is actually kind of a notch on this guy in terms of overall what he comes with. Because it comes with a lot of great accessories, but one of the things is like, he comes with a flying Gamera. Kind of want our Gyaos to be flying to go along with them. Can't do that without a stand. Grabbing one of my Tamashii Nation stands real quick. When you put this on here, it actually feels pretty loose on here. It might actually hold it onto the pose, but I don't strongly recommend going this option because that does swing pretty freely. Actually, I'll put him on this stand anyways just to see how well he works. But to get this onto our Gyaos, all you gotta do is pull off the tail section here. All you do is just pull it out straight from the body. Insert this over top of the tail. And you're going to want to make sure that the cup is going over the the little peg joint right here, right where the ratchet is. So you just slide that on, take our tail, slide it back over top, make sure it's nice and wedged, and now you should have this section just kind of hanging out in between his legs. Then you just take your stand here, sit it over top of it, and now we have our Gyaos flying, And I'll be right back after I position this to where he can actually hold a pose. Alright, so now that I got him on the Tamashii Nation stand, actually he stays on there pretty well. In terms of just like sitting on your shelf, I don't really imagine this guy really biffing it on here. Seems like he holds his pose pretty well on there. So actually, if you got a bunch of Tamashii Nation stands laying around, kind of like I do, this is an option. Or if you have the one that comes with the Revoltech Gamera, grabbing the Gamera stand, he actually holds his pose pretty well on here too overall. I feel like on the Tamashii Nation stand, you can kind of get it positioned a little bit more stable than you can with the actual stand that came with the Gamera. Still works pretty well though, and overall trying to keep him up there very nice and securely. Like, he wobbles a little bit, but nothing too crazy, and you can actually position him with the weight a little bit more towards the back here. Overall, just to be able to keep him up there safe and secure. And overall, like, this is awesome. Like, this is actually probably the more preferred way I'd want to have my Gyaos displayed in my collection. And it's kind of a letdown that he just doesn't come with this accessory inside of the packaging, because it's Gyaos. It's a flying monster. Should definitely come with a flying stand. So that's definitely a wee bit of a bummer. And actually, I'm kind of curious if this will actually fit on this stand unlike the other one. Nope. Still gonna have problems of attaching this onto the stand too. And then he comes with the Revoltech carrying case, which is actually a lot more useful with the Gyaos, because he definitely comes with a lot more smaller accessories that actually store inside of this. So with the actual Gyaos figure, unlike the Gamera, it's actually useful. And we get a Revoltech coin. Woohoo! And then bringing him in for a closer look, details on this guy are actually very, very impressive. Overall, his head sculpt looks phenomenal. Really think they caught the overall look of the Gyaos from the film actually very well on this action figure, where he has the nice yellow and black pupils for his eyes. Very, very, I want to say dorky looking, but it looks so good on this monster. Like, he has that nice menacing look with these actual, the way his eyes are fixated. Because I remember in the film, he kind of has that weird look where he has like his mouth open, he's like, Wah! But overall, it looks really sweet on the figure. Same with the paint job for the mouth here, it looks very nice as well, and also got a piece of fuzz right there for some reason. Whereas teeth are this nice white color where he has a nice flesh tone on the inside of his mouth here. Some details on the roof of his mouth, and you can see his kaiju tongue. Overall, for the paint job for the body is this nice burgundy brown color, where it's more of like a brown with a little hint of red shade to it. But for the detail, like, I love this crest on the top of his head, very iconic for the Gyaos. The neck looks really nice. Body details look fantastic. Like, they even got the nice ridging here on the bottom of his belly here. Looks really good. Overall, his wings too, like, I really like what they did with these, where they're actually, like on the SH Monsters figures, where the wings are generally like one solid piece of plastic with like little hinges here and there. This is actually just soft rubber, like just the really nice soft plastic. And then you have the hinges here for the support for the wings, where you can bend the wing back and it bends the plastic here. So you come forward, bends the plastic here again. And it just kind of makes for a little bit of a cleaner look. Like, it's one of those things, like, over time I kind of worry about this a little bit and deteriorating just because of the movement of the plastic and whatnot and just excessive use. But for the most part, it looks really, really nice though. Same with the bag angle for this guy as well. Looks really nice as well. Even got a lot of nice detailings for the plates coming down his back here. And then you get his nice little airplane tail right here. Mine's got a little bit of a bend to it, but it looks really nice. And then for his legs here, same nice burgundy brown color that you have for the rest of the kaiju here. And then for his nails are more of a bone color. Same with the ones for the tip of the wings here. Looks really good, like even has the little dew claw at the end of the wings here. Looks fantastic. Overall for the paint job, like, nothing really to complain about. Like, even the molded sculpt for this guy looks awesome. And also the one thing to point out too on this guy is the joints on him aren't quite as noticeable as they are on the Gamera. Because you can see here, you can see a lot where the peg joints are. But for the most part, they actually blend pretty well in this guy overall. Like, even on the legs, you can see them a little bit, but it's not quite as showing off as it was in the Gamera. Because he had quite a bit of joints, you know. But for the articulation, Gyaos can look pretty much straight up using the joints in the neck and the head. It's actually really nice, especially if you want to get him in these flying positions. His head can look down about yay far. His mouth can open up and down. He also has a little bit of motion to the left and to the right, but it's mainly at the base of the neck where you get the joint for the head tilting here. For the wings, Can move forward about that far. Show you guys a side angle of it. Can go back about that far, maybe a little bit farther. If you work the joints in a little bit more, you can get them to flap up a little bit higher. For the wings, can bend in about yay far. It's actually pretty crazy for a wingspan. Can bend back about that far until the plastic starts forcing it back forward. And you can also rotate them a little bit down, and probably could pop that out, but mainly the plastic on the back of the Gyaos here is going to get in the way with any kind of rotation here. So you get slight movement back and forth, and geez, more of those little hairs. And then for his waist, has a little bit of a pivot to it, but for the most part, it seems like it just sits right back in there. Not really getting a ratchet out of it, but it can move a little bit to the side. Can move forward and pop off the joint there. So showing you guys the joint, it's pretty much like the legs and arms where it only goes in one direction, while the side-to-side motion seems to be on the same joint. So if you want them to be pivoting side to side, you're going to have to rotate this joint on the inside of the body in order to be able to get them to pivot side to side. So again, it's kind of like the Gamera, where if you want to be moving this guy in kind of more crazy positions, you're going to have to work for it. But it can bend a little bit forward, I want to say. It's not doing it too well. Like, that's about as far as I'm getting it to go backwards, just with the joint with the body attached to it. And then you can pretty much just stand straight up, but that's about it unless you really want to mess with the joints a whole lot. Then for his legs, can bend outwards about yay far. Can move in about that far. Can do a little bit of a forward kick. But again, it's a lot of messing around with the joint here to get it to do what you want. Then for his knee, can bend about that far back, that far forward. His feet can move up and down, can also rotate all the way around. And then if you can get the joint to move sideways, you can get it to pivot a little bit if you wanted to. And then for his tail, it also has a little bit of articulation where it can go about that far forward, that far back, and can rotate all the way around. And for some quick comparison, here we have the Revoltech Gyaos 1967 compared next to its counterpart, the Revoltech Gamera 1967. And here I am with the SH Monster's Gamera 96 from Gamera 2, and the X Plus Gamera from Gamera 3. And here's some Japanese vinyls of Gamera from Gamera Guardian of the Universe and Iris from Gamera 3. And finally here's with another Japanese vinyl, my Space Gyaos from Gamera vs. Guron. So overall with the Revoltech 67 Gyaos, I actually really like this figure because overall his details are fantastic, his articulation is really good, and it comes with a lot of really great accessories, except for a flight stand. Like, that personally is the biggest thing that this figure is missing, especially with it being a flying character and being able to have flying poses. It comes with parts for him to fly with. And him just not having a stand is a very big missed opportunity for this figure. And overall just kind of hurts his overall posability because for the most part, without it, he's just going to be standing on your shelf. And personally, I think he'd look really cool just flying over your figures in your collection. So it's not enough to not recommend this figure because I actually still think it's a pretty cool toy. But I would mainly recommend picking up this guy if you're planning on picking up the Gamera to go along with him so that you have a stand. Or if you already own stands in your collection, then this guy needs to be terrorizing your collection today. So what do you guys think of Gyaos? What's your guys' favorite Gamera villain, or is Rodan just more your thing? Please let us know in the comments. A little closer pictures of this guy on Facebook if you want to click the link description below. Help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button. Subscribe to become a ranger today, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.